Hey gang, and welcome back to the Hulled Halls of Magic's Monologue. Magic here, your curator of personal growth and the sage keeper to the keys to today's tome of wisdom and knowledge. Today's video, we're going to review an article written by Cailey Griffin called "My Partner is Monogamous, but I am not. Here's how we make our relationship work." Guys, this is a don't be this guy kind of video. A man who has been conned into abandoning any form of self-respect as he has been gaslighted into confusing it with enlightened openness. Now, I'm going to give you a major cringe warning, as some of you may want to bail before the end. However, stay with me and I'll give you my final thoughts at the end, and I think it'll be worth your time as a lesson. So, let's begin the journey. Ferdinanda Fabian, 30, is a non-monogamist, while her partner of 6 years is monogamous. They figured out how to make their relationship work. Fabian would be willing to close their relationship for some time if they both feel it's needed. Now, remember those words. Fabian would be willing to close their relationship for some time if they both feel it's needed, because I'll come back to that in the end. This as a told to essay is based on a conversation with Ferdinanda Fabian, the host of the podcast Polyamorous. It has been edited for length and clarity. My partner of 6 years is monogamous, while I am not. I've learned that both people don't have to be monogamous or non-monogamous to make a relationship work. I met my partner, Seth, at Burning Man in 2018. We were in the same camp with about 120 people. One night, we were at our campground after dinner. Music was playing, and we both found ourselves walking to the middle of the dance floor to introduce ourselves. We talked for 15 minutes and then decided to hang out that night. We had a very instant connection. After we had hung out, his friend asked him, "Why didn't you tell me about your girlfriend?" He said, "Oh, because I just met her 15 minutes ago." As cliche as it sounds, it felt like we had known each other for a long time. I brought up non-monogamy early on. The second night after we met at Burning Man, I told Seth I was non-monogamous. I told him I had friends who were non-monogamous and that I was curious about having an open relationship. He said he could be open to an open relationship. When he said that, I thought he was saying he would also be open on his side, but he meant he was open to figuring out how to support me in doing what I wanted, even if it's not his thing. Slap to the back of the head to Seth. She hit him with the non-monogamy on day 2. Let that sink in. At Burning Man, a place where hedonism masquerades as enlightenment, she pitched an open relationship as casually as ordering a drink. Seth's fatal error? He confused open-mindedness with self-sacrifice. When she said, "I'm curious about open relationships," Seth didn't pause to ask, "What's in it for me?" Instead, he white-knighted, "I'll support you." Translation, "I'll swallow my discomfort to keep you interested." Beta move number 1. He handed her the reins and she took them gleefully. After Burning Man, he headed home to San Francisco. Oh, well, that explains a lot about him. While I went back to New York, and we stayed in touch. Now, I should give him a slap to the back of the head for long distance relationships because, truthfully, they very rarely ever work effectively. 2 weeks later, he came to visit me, and then 2 weeks after that, I went to visit him. We did long distance for 9 months before Seth moved to New York in 2019. Slap to the back of the head. In other words, he moved to her, he surrendered any agency and shown his weakness. About a month into our long distance relationship, he asked me if I wanted to be his girlfriend. Slap to the back of the head again to Seth. No, you let her ask for that. When you ask after a month, it signals weakness and desperation. You're just asking to be taken advantage of. If a woman wants commitment from you, she must always earn it. Seth signaled he had no other options, which says to many women, she now has all the power in the relationship. I thought it was cute that he asked and said yes. I realized that for him, being his girlfriend meant being exclusive. So I asked him, does this mean I can have sex with other people? He said, yep, that's what it means. We discussed it further, and he said he wasn't ready for me to date other people yet. About 6 months into the relationship, he said it was okay for me to have sex with other people, but only with people I'd already had sex with before I met him. Only with people who had a partner, and only when he was away since we were long distance. That's a lot of conditions that won't be followed. A little over a year into the relationship, we got to my ideal situation of being able to date whomever I wanted more regularly. I started off going on dates once a month, then once every couple of weeks. Now I have freedom, but we still have a conversation if needed. Magic truth number 1. A man who negotiates against his own boundaries is a beggar, not a leader. Seth's girlfriend label came with a asterisk. Exclusive for thee and not for me. She weaponized cute commitment talks to lock him into monogamy while reserving her freedom. Classic asymmetrical desire here, guys. She wants the stability of a boyfriend and the thrill of new D. As Seth, he got the scraps, conditional loyalty, and a front row seat to her exploits. In other words, welcome to Cuckville. Population, well, a lot of guys. The first time I went on a date was with someone else I could tell Seth was jealous and having a hard time. I would come home wanting to connect with him either because being with someone else reminded me how great Seth was, or it'd be a very fun experience that I wanted to replicate with him. But Seth found it strange that I'd want to connect with him after a date and would act a little distant at first. When we talked about it, he shared that it took him more time to shake off the idea that I had just come back from a date with someone else. Translation, shake off the idea that somebody else's D has been in you and you've now come back home for him. Can we all say sloppy second place winners here? We have a partial don't ask, don't tell, oh that's healthy, system when it comes to my dates. While he knows I went on a date, I don't share the details about it and occasionally pretend like it didn't happen. But if he knows the person I'm dating, he's always been open to allowing them over for an event or attending an event he knows they'll be at. I may not share much about my dates, but it's nice that he's open to meeting the people I date. My partner has an option to be non-monogamous if he wants. Sure. Notice the pattern here, guys. Every time she pushed the envelope, Seth folded. First, it was only ex-lovers. Then, only when I'm away. Now, date whenever I want. Each concession was a tax on his dignity. And what did he get? A woman who comes home recharged from other men's bed, expecting him to celebrate her adventures. Let's be clear. Her freedom is his prison. When she gushes about dates, then pretends to say it didn't happen, she's gaslighting him into normalizing disrespect. Seth's journey isn't insecurity. It's his primal masculine gut screaming, "This is wrong." But instead of listening, he rationalizes, "She needs this. I'll adapt." Seth isn't interested in a romantic or sexual connection with anyone else and hasn't been for the past 6 years of our relationship, but he has the option to do so if he ever wants to. While I feel recharged by being with other people, Seth is an introvert who feels recharged by being on his own. I think his introversion is why he's okay with our dynamic. When I come back from spending time with others, we both feel recharged and ready to connect. So you keep telling yourself. I decided to share our dynamic with my mom's side of the family. I tell my mom about a date I went on, and she will say, "Don't let Seth hear you." I just tell her, "Mom, it's okay, Seth knows." My mom likes Seth and doesn't want me to harm our relationship by seeing other people. I didn't tell my dad about the details of our connection until more recently, not out of fear or judgment, but because sex and relationships were not topics I'd ever previously spoken to him about. Wow. Even her mom feels sorry for him. I don't think she told her dad because she knows he would not approve. Magic truth number 2. A woman's desire thrives on her respect of you, not your compliance. By tolerating her exploits, Seth becomes the beta provider and the emotional tampon she reconnects with after riding the nickname for a rooster carousel. Her family connection? A telltale sign. Even her mother knows no man with options would tolerate this. But Seth, the introverted nice guy, stays, mistaking martyrdom for love. Even though I'm non-monogamous, there are temporary periods, usually about 4 months, when I am monogamous. Being non-monogamous allows me to feel attraction and connection to a person and pursue it. Let me translate that for you guys. Attention and validation. But attraction and connection with others doesn't always happen, and I sometimes want to focus my energy on other things other than dating. Though I wouldn't want to close our relationship forever if, for whatever reason, we decide that non-monogamy was no longer right, there's always an option for us to have a conversation, and if we had to, close it for some time. That's where the article ends, gentlemen, and I'll put the link in the description. Did any of you miss her sleight of hand? She claims, I'll close the relationship if needed. But notice the caveat, not forever. It's a manipulation tactic. Every few months, she plays monogamous to keep Seth hooked, dangling the illusion of exclusivity before resuming her escapades. This, gentleman, is called intermittent reinforcement, the same trick that casinos use to addict gamblers. And poor Seth, he's the mark of a woman I bet is way hotter than him, and she believes he can't do better. Seth mistakes her pauses for loyalty, not realizing they're strategic. She's hedging her bets, ensuring he remains plan B while she samples the buffet. Meanwhile, Seth's monogamy is unilateral and unreciprocated, a raw deal disguised as compromise. Magic truth number 3. Non-monogamy only works when both parties benefit from the beginning. What she is doing is a one-way street. She's polyamorous. He's polytolerating. Her attention thrives on novelty. His introversion is code for resignation. She's winning, and he's just surviving. If it has suddenly hit you over the head, the epiphany, oh my God, I'm a Seth, then here is the way out to reclaim your masculine sovereignty. It's time to man up, not by demanding she stop. Dude, that ship has sailed. The only out is to walk away. You cannot negotiate desire. You cannot nice guy your way into her respect. Every second you stay, you teach her that your boundaries are negotiable and your self-respect, well, that's just optional. Here is the magic playbook. 1. Silent ultimatum. Close the relationship, not for her, for you. If she balks, you have your answer. 2. Nuclear frame. See a lawyer if you are married and plan your exit strategy. Otherwise, systematically plan and prepare to walk. A man who stays in a lopsided dynamic is a volunteer, not a victim. Find a male therapist to help you deprogram your low self-esteem brainwashing and see this relationship for what it is. 3. Reinvest in you. The gym, purpose, mission. Rediscover the man she met at Burning Man before you handed her the keys to your self-worth, your dignity, and your cock cage. Guys, Seth's story is not unique. It's a cautionary tale of what happens when you prioritize a woman's happiness over your own masculine sovereignty. Plus, not knowing that the odds of finding a good wife and mother material at Burning Man is probably slim and none. Love isn't slavery, unless you're into dominant submission, and that is a whole other video and not this one. You can't build a legacy on a foundation of compromise. Look, this video and channel are not about hating women. It's about respecting yourself enough to walk away from deals that demand your surrender. Seth's wife gets to explore, Seth gets crumbs. That's not a relationship. It's an indentured servitude. Demand reciprocity. Enforce boundaries. And remember, the strongest negotiation position is the ability to say no and mean it. In the comments section below, share your thoughts, any advice, or if you agree or disagree with my points of view. If you found value in this video, then help this channel grow by doing 3 easy things. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell, and share this with at least 3 friends who need to learn from this channel. Confession is good for the soul and this channel. Send me your personal relationship stories to share, or if you see an article online you think I should cover, send the link to stories@magicsmonologue.com. Through this, you're leading by example, encouraging other men to rise higher, and ensuring you live a life of passion, purpose, and prosperity. If you're on YouTube and want another video like this one, then click here to watch Marriage Decline: Why Men Are Opting Out of Marriage. And that video is coming up right now.